Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1204. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we have the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, Benita the Rodeo Queen stops by, and we get to that wonderful segment we have not done in a while where we discuss internet culture and society. It's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
No, it's not called Mike's Daily Pod. That's the name of the show. The segment is called Jarelnime. Jarell will be stopping by.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Jarell will be stopping by. Hey, I suddenly went into a pukey radio voice. Some people use that voice, and it's their choice. They can do what they want with their voices. I don't care. I'm not for that kind of voice. Anyway, that's Cafe Anyway. Yo! Where were we? Oh. Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm going to use the word festooned in a sentence. I was
Mike's
festooned
Daily
in a
Podcast.
snarky Facebook shirt yesterday. Someone pointed it out to me. They said, "You're wearing a snarky Facebook shirt." It was a shirt that said, "May your life be as exciting as you say it is on Facebook." And my friend Robert Owen Welsh, who does the segment Welsh on the World, or he used to do it, and the opener sounded like this.
Welsh on the World.
But Robert Owen Welsh and his co-worker Annalisa and I went into a boba tea shop yesterday in Podcastro Valley, and I got this weird tea. It didn't have boba in it. It had red beans. Tea with red beans in it. And the cute as all can be cashier ring me up person said to me, "Do you work for Facebook?" And I go, "Oh no, this is a sort of an anti-Facebook shirt." And she said, "Oh." Did not get it at all. Went over her head. Whew! It flew over her head. Like that. I was festooned with the... Oh, it's right in my face. Get out of there. Darn electric little spaceships, drones and whatnot. I also saw a lovely lady at the... Oh, look who just walked in. At the dog park yesterday as I was walking Basil the Boxer. Oh, look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. It's Madame Rootabega. Hello, Basil. Michael Matthews, you always see the cute ladies at the dog park. Oh, well, yes, I guess. There's all sorts of dog owners in the Bay Area. Male, female, make up a gender, all sorts. And ages. But this one lady, she has a dog named Banksy, named after the artiste Banksy, who works primarily in England doing bizarre... didn't Banksy have that weird Disneyland ripoff sort of theme park where it made fun of Disneyland and the world and our economy and whatnot? So, yes, she is lovely, and she owns a dog named Banksy, and I talked to her. It was the high point of my day yesterday, that, and having this strange red bean tea. Look who else just walked in. Just now. Right there. Right now. A genie.
Mayday!
And this guy.
Hello there, Mike. It's Valentino the Parking Attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Hey, Bison Bentley and Valentino. That was sort of some shocking soap opera music because you guys are so shocking.
Yeah, we're kind of shocking just by our mere size and the bigness of us.
Yeah, we're huge. Do you know that?
Mike, we can't wait till Hillary loses. Donald Trump is totally doing the 180 and taking over the polls there.
Yeah, Hillary's going down. Do you know that? Mayday, mayday. Do that thing again.
Mayday!
Now, the early polls suggest, yes, that Trump is doing better than everyone was thinking. So that is a bit of a shock. who knows what will happen? All we know is it'll be done in about 13 days, all over with, and we'll know. Oh, election years drive me nuts. Anyway, cafe anyway. My roommate is doing a coding boot camp anyway. Cafe anyway. Yeah, so he's doing these strange hours where he gets up a little bit after I do. I wake up at 4. He wakes up a little bit after that, and then he doesn't come home till 10 o'clock at night. So I don't know how long. He's only been doing this for 2 days. I don't know how long he's gonna. He says it's supposed to last 4 weeks. How is he gonna do a coding boot camp for 4 weeks with those hours? He's gonna get sick. He already just got over some crazy sore throat cold thing. I don't know, but he's young. He's 20 something. The world is his oyster. I wish him the best of luck. I hope he is festooned in good luck. If Hillary does win, and it was like a week ago, everybody was saying Hillary was going to win, but now things have changed. She is going to have a lot of gridlock. The Republicans aren't going to give her one bit of moving room. So it's going to be an interesting administration, whoever gets in there. And then if Trump gets in, of course, the Russians will take over.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Julian Assange will be the Secretary of State. Putin will be the Vice President. Mike Pence, you think you're going to be Vice President? Forget that. It's all about the wonderful Putin coming in and taking over. Look at this wonderful picture of this wonderful place. Oh yeah, in Huntsville, Alabama. I've been thinking about Huntsville a lot. I wanted to go this year, but now it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. And there's a lot of people I wanted to go see in Huntsville. I lived there for 2 years. This is one of the interesting places that I went to when I lived in Huntsville. It was called the Flying Monkey. It was an old converted shoe factory, boot factory. They have all these artistes that have taken up residence in this massive old factory building made of wood and stone. And this is a picture on, I think, the 5th floor. That's a little lounge, and you can kind of see Huntsville in the background. This was a cool place I liked to go to when I lived in Huntsville. It wasn't a bad area, though. You'd kind of have to drive through this little meth area of Huntsville to get to it, but it's a neat place. I wonder if it's still there. I don't know. But hey, see that picture now at mikesdailypodcast.com. Help out the show through the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. There's also the PayPal if you'd like to donate to the show. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters, and you will also have a happy face. Put on a happy, smiling face, or whatever face you would like to be festooned with. And then, finally, there's the past podcast pictures, past interviews, all there at mikesdailypodcast.com. When I first started podcasting in 2009, the first podcast I did was called The Messy Desk, because I did the podcast from my desk in my house, and my desk, of course, was messy. That would totally work and fit with my desk now at home. It is so messy, and it's all in preparation for November. So many things happen in November. I got to renew my AAA. I got to renew my driver's license. I got to pay my property tax. I got to pay my house insurance, my car insurance, my earthquake insurance. I've got to vote in November. All these things going on in November. My birthday's in November. I'm going to be taking a little vacation time in November where there will be no podcasting at all. Just want you to be warned. I know. There's a sad wah sound that just went across the world because they heard I wasn't going to do a podcast. Well, that's enough. You can't do that if you're a real dad. That's enough. No, the crying continues. So it's going to be a busy month, and I have a very messy desk. Oh, not only that, but there's all this... and then I own Cumulus stock because I worked for Cumulus for about 12 years. And I said 12 because that's how you're supposed to say 12 is with a cha, right? And I got some stocks. I was able to buy some stocks while I worked there. They had a special program, part of your paycheck went to it, which was a mistake because the stock price really never ever went up. It always went down, and now it's down to like 60 cents or something per share. And now they're doing this program where 8 of your shares will equal 1 share, which is a lose, lose, lose for everybody. So they want me to send my stock certificates in. I have 2, so I had to find those. And I was going to do it, but now I'm thinking, since the stock certificates probably are worth more being printed on the nice frilly paper, the paper is worth more than the actual stock. I might just not even do it, but it is so bad. Cumulus stock. And they own a lot of radio stations in the Bay Area, so let's get to the segment now, Jarelnime.
Jarelnime.
Welcome to Jarelnime. Look who just walked in. It's Jarell.
Hi.
How are you today, Jarell?
It's cloudy outside.
It is cloudy where we are. Oh.
But it's a podcaster Valentino Mont, right?
Yes, that's where we are today, Podcaster Valley Mont, and I'm. It's dark out. We're not used to that, being spoiled Californians.
Well, it can't be that bad, right? I mean, we've been in the scorching heat burning our buns off all the time, so it's nice to have a change of pace of weather, right?
Exactly. I would agree. Now let's talk about our topic today, which is, what were you going to talk about?
Maybe we should touch on trolling.
Trolling! Now that's when you're going through the forest and you see those little guys with the hats and... No, wait, those are gnomes. That's gnoming. What's trolling?
Well, gnoming or trolling in that particular sense is more of the positive side. But trolling, which is primarily used in a negative connotation, it's literally where you're just being a jerk, talking a whole bunch of junk just to get a reaction out of somebody, usually a negative reaction, because apparently you're so insecure with yourself, you got to kill somebody else's mood just to make yours happy.
Thereby you're acting like a troll.
Yeah, so if you were to just say it's just plain, you're just being a jerk.
Now, what experiences have you had with trolling, Mr. Jarelnime?
I've seen it mostly online, where kids, because obviously they are not in a local vicinity with some folks, they think that since they're behind a keyboard or they're behind a computer screen that they're safe from any forms of retaliation whatsoever. But what they don't realize is that screen name that they see, whether it's a chat room or even Facebook for the matter, which actually brings you more into the liability of possibly being retaliated against, you're basically doing something that could endanger yourself or endanger other people around you. And all for what? Just for what? 2 minutes of alleged fame?
What? They're getting fame from trolling?
They're interpreting the amount of views that they get or people who chime in about it that somehow that constitutes as fame. But when in fact what they're doing is they're actually just creating a record that's being recorded. All transcripts are recorded, and they're just creating a record of themselves being a delinquent, to which if an employer ever found out about it or a potential employer finds out about it, that could actually jeopardize their chance of actually getting a job.
And they're just being a jerk. Why do they... I don't get it. And I guess it's like some people in before computers, they were just annoying, but now there's a whole other way of being annoying and not being held responsible.
Well, here's the thing. The technology is really just a tool. It's a matter of the attitude, to which there could be an issue of a lack of parenting, a lack of role models, and ultimately a lack of sense. But if you don't have good parenting, you don't have good mentorship, there's a good chance that the youth, or in even some many cases, you can see some adults these days just behaving like loose cannons. Mm-hmm. And there's quite a bit of adults that control too. They may not realize it, they may not think they are, but they actually are. One in particular is like, elders, we get it. You had a bunch of challenges in the past, but you're not going to actually influence the kids by simply saying, oh, back in my day, we didn't have all that. That's not going to get them. Those are harsh words, and that's just going to drive anger.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like when we would hear grandparents go, oh, it was
Snow. I had to walk barefoot to school in the snow both ways uphill.
Yeah, at that point, the kids are just going to interpret that as a pity party, unless you formulate it in a manner to make it a life lesson. If you're just mouthing off just to be in a one-upper manner, all you're doing is basically you're just trolling in a way of that.
One-uppers really bug me.
Yeah, you already get enough of that when you're on a date and some jackass comes by you and starts talking about what they did, which nobody gives a crap.
On a date?
There are some who actually do that, which I'd say, guys, come on now. Or girls, whoever's doing it, knock that off, okay?
Oh, you mean guys that go on dates with women? All they do is talk about how great they are?
Or a guy who's a bystander who interrupts the conversation between that guy and the girl who are actually going out on the date.
Oh, that is annoying. Oh, now our topic has changed to annoying people that are annoying.
Sometimes you got to talk about it. Now, some of you are saying, what does this have to do with anime? Well, there are some television tropes in anime that are related to trolling.
Oh.
But sadly, usually it takes the form of the genre of ecchi. You remember that term, right?
Yeah, ecchi.
Yeah, so you may have this one guy. There was this one anime. I'm not going to say which one it is, because I don't want you going over there looking at it. Next thing you know, you do all that other kind of crazy stuff. But this one dude just started jumping and saying, hey, what's going on around here, yada, yada. And then he starts groping different women and gets his butt kicked.
Oh, wow.
And I say more power to the ladies that did that karate chop and ultimately broke his leg.
If I could bring it back to the one-upper thing, because I find it so fascinating, is there, it's some people, you can't talk to them. Like, I work with someone, not here, but we're not at work, actually. We're at cafe anyway.
That's right. Hey, can I get another latte?
Hey, look, it's your favorite, Benita the Rodeo Queen. Hi, Jarell. How y'all doing? I hate it when people one-up me. How do you like my horse?
Very beautiful. Can I ride it sometime?
Sure. I just got potty training. Bye, bye. There she goes. She just left with Nilly. Bye, Nilly. Nilly was quiet today. Yeah, so I was talking to some guy. Whenever I talk to him, he always one-ups. I can't just say, hey, I went and walked my dog. He's like, well, hey, I met Tom Hanks. And he and I drove around in his electrical car. It always has to be something better.
That's because he seems to have an issue of insecurity within his own soul.
Insecurity in the soul is what it is. So trolling, I guess I've been lucky because no one listens to this podcast, but...
Yes, they do.
But if they do, they're nice and they don't troll and they don't yell. When I worked at the country station in Ventura at the end of the 90s and the beginning of the O's, I got some email. This is when I first discovered email trolls, and they would email me and go, because I went by Matt Michaels back then, Matt Michaels, you suck. And I'd be like, well, why don't you say that to my face, you person that just wrote that and hit send? Come and meet me and say that. But no, they hide behind. And it used to be in radio, too. We still deal with this in radio. People that call up, and they're safe because they're hiding behind a phone. But that whole internet thing where you're typing, it gives you a whole added other dimension of disconnected.
Or so they think. Because here's the reality. That person whom you're going at it with, they may be a stranger to you, but they could be an associate of someone you know.
Oh, yeah.
So at that point, now you've got an issue to where you're being held accountable for that actions because they told someone else who come to find out, they say, wait a minute, that sounds like somebody I know. And then when they ask for confirmation, next thing you know, now you're getting a lecture.
Right. Now, that would be good.
But that's just the easy part. Because what can work, the worst case scenario is they actually find where you are and you get your ass kicked.
Oh, that would be bad. That's when the trolling gets some patrolling.
Well, what's even more is there's this issue also of wanting to get even, or more so wanting to get ahead of the individual. But when the reality is, what benefit is that actually going to yield? Mm-hmm. See, the problem with society today is many are only thinking 30 seconds ahead, not 30 years ahead.
But you should live like it was your live like you were dying was a Tim McGraw song. That goes back to the country thing. There's Carpe Diem, which is live like you're eating fish. Or no, live it's like your last day. Seize the day is what it means. But yeah, you should think ahead and be responsible for your actions. YouTube said you can't comment anymore unless you have an account with us in Gmail and YouTube. And a lot of people had issues with that because they're like, oh no, I like being anonymous and typing in stuff. But now they've got to fess up to their actions.
Yeah, I'd say that was a good move by Google to actually turn down some of the basically internet bullying in the way, which is basically trolling. Because now there is an account that is associated with that comment, and therefore it can be traced even more accurately than it was before. So how about this? How do we deal with the troll?
You throw salt on them?
Unfortunately, that doesn't work.
Oh.
But one way to deal with them, and this is probably the easiest way that takes the least amount of time, is simply just say, hey, Doc, I don't know what's going on with you. It seems like you probably had a bad day, but I hope it gets better for you. But I can't converse under these circumstances.
Yeah. And just walk away.
Yep, that's the bottom line. It doesn't make you look like a punk. Let's touch on that for a minute. Where did that analogy actually come from? Has anyone even bothered to consider that?
Punk?
Or the whole action of just walking away instead of getting in the person's face and acting just as immature as they are. Like somehow that equals an act of weakness. It's somehow an indication of weakness or basically being a punk. Now, who came up with that analogy and where's the actual validity in it?
Of walking away from someone?
Yeah, basically walking away from immaturity. How does that constitute weakness?
Oh, right. It should be you're the bigger man and you're walking away. When they go low, we go high. That whole thing.
Well, the concept of this is you're saying it because ultimately trolls just want attention. They basically want fuel for whatever their particular condition it is, and really there's something that's driven. There's an underlying cause in that. Now, even it's still wrong. Just know there is a underlying cause to that, and oftentimes when you meet them in a position of wisdom, they're left by themselves to fend for themselves for that negative attitude, to which at that point people are going to raise the eyebrow at them. Now, another way to deal with trolls, if you actually have time on your hands and you